Hello YouTube, I'm Pharaoh, and I just got back with my fourth session with the Mormon missionaries. This time they took a different tact. They took a different approach. They wanted to really strongly reiterate the whole faith thing, that you can't know everything. You know, science doesn't know everything, and you can't know everything. So there are certain instances in your life when you just have to take a leap of faith. As one of the missionaries put it, what you're doing is you're writing a rain check for something that happens later. I noticed that they realized a commonality in me in their book, and that they were trying to point this out to me without just blatantly saying, you're like this guy that was written in the Book of Mormon. So what they did was they had me read certain passages out of the Book of Mormon that I haven't gotten to yet. It's in Alma chapter 30, whatever. And there's this guy going around telling all the people that believe in God and Jesus and all that stuff that they're foolish and ignorant and they don't know what they're talking about and they have no proof of this deity. So I just blatantly asked the missionaries after reading these passages, I'm like, am I this guy? Is this who you're saying I am? And they're like, well, no, we're not saying you're him. We're saying that you view things similar to him, stuff like that. It's like, okay. They really are trying to pound in the whole faith thing, which I am not holding back anything. I'm doing everything they're instructing me to do in order to get this faith that they say happens to everybody. I'm very open to this wonderful feeling that will overcome me, and then I'll just know that, this is all truth and stuff like that. I'm doing everything they say how to do it, and, I'm doing it their way. So by their reasoning alone, it should work. And so far it hasn't. They got real big into, just believe everything in the book is the truth. This book is the truth. You just have to believe that. I was like, I'm trying to, but when I come across something in the book that is not true, it takes away from that. It doesn't help its argument. And then they started explaining that this is a historical record of people. These are, this is about people, and what it's like a journal about them and things like that. And I stated, well, the journal seems to be written wrong because it got some very key things wrong. I brought up because in the first part of the book, it tells of this group of Jews that flee Israel and by boat make it to the Americas and proliferate, and that's what made up the Native Americans, which we know isn't how things happened. So I explained to them, we have proof that's not how it happened. We have DNA that shows that Indians are from Asian descent and that they came across, the ice bridge that linked Russia and Alaska, and then they filtered on down into the South Americas. And then one of the missionaries asked me why I think there are so many different types of humans on the planet. Why are there black people? Why are there Chinese people? Why are there Europeans? Why are we, different colors and different shapes and stuff like that? And so I went into a very lengthy explanation about evolution on a species. And I explained that environmental conditions can cause a species to slightly alter itself. It's still the same species, but an environmental change took place, and the species needed to change also in order to survive. I explained that people in Africa, they have dark skin to protect them from UVB rays, and people up like Sweden or something like that were very light-skinned because having skin pigment was a hindrance, because then they didn't get enough sun to produce enough vitamin E to survive. and blue eyes developed because of low light conditions. I went on a total scientific tirade on them and explained to them exactly why there are different people in the world. And that threw them up against the ropes. And then I went on the offensive, and I started asking questions like, how old do you think the Earth is, how do you think this all got started and stuff? And they seem to meld the two as regards with religion and science. They said, it's very possible that the Big Bang is correct and it took all these billions of years, but we don't know what a day is to God, because God created the earth in 6 days. So a day to him could be, like 5 billion years or something like that. And so I just went along the scientific route, knocking every argument they had off its block. Let's see, what else happened? Oh, I actually got them. I was surprised I actually did this in the moment, but I had to keep my poker face on. I actually got them to recognize that it is not okay to stop someone from questioning something. They were telling me that, like, it's a very good thing to question what you're being told. Hopefully that'll sink into them later and have a bigger effect. But I got them to understand that when somebody comes up with the questions, you don't just hush, just believe. Just believe it's the truth. Do as you're told. So I got them to do that, which I thought was pretty cool. And that, well, they let's see what else. They want me to come to Sunday worship, which I don't want to go to Sunday worship at a Mormon church. I've been to one before, and they're like 3 to 4 hours long. But I gave my very specific reasons why I won't go to a Sunday worship. A, I'm not going to indoctrinate my daughter. I'm going to wait until she's old enough and smart enough to know of the concept of deception, and then she can make her own choice, whatever the hell she wants, once she's of age to recognize when people are deceiving her. And the second reason was I wouldn't feel comfortable because I am an unbeliever. And I would just feel very uncomfortable personally myself, just kind of sitting there pretending to go along with everything when inside I think it's all a bunch of hooey. So there's that. But they just kept reiterating me, you need to open your heart and let the faith happen. I'm like, I'm doing it. My heart's open. It's out there. It just hasn't happened yet. I'm doing everything you told me to do. I can't reach in there and drag it out by force. It's got to come out by on its own, right? So they're plugging the whole faith thing, which is unnatural to me. But who knows? They did mention one guy who apparently a while ago left on his mission, who said this guy would be perfect for me to talk to because he was just like me. He was questioning everything. He had questions all the time in the church. And he figured it out. And I was like, yeah, it'd be great to talk to that guy. If he's the ones with the answers to my questions, that'd be great. So that's that. I got invited back, so there will be a part 6. Well, excuse me, part 5. And hopefully part 6. Until they just don't want me around anymore. Thanks for watching.